Hello there, guys. Welcome to the fifth episode of Michael Niger Motivational Series, and I'm your host, Michael Niger. Now, before we move on, I received some messages from some of my viewers as regards to why I never posted any videos last week, but it's as a result of some technical difficulties and it has been resolved. Now, last few weeks, we spoke about the power of rising after falling, but this week we are going to be talking about relationship. Now the topic is going to be my relationship as an adult. Now, the relationships of today has taken a new dimension as influenced by the social media. Many people get their taste and preferences from the social media. That is where most people get their ideas of crazy relationship, stupid romances and stuff like that. You know, guys of nowadays believe that their ideal perfect woman must be tall, slim, sexy, and to get that perfect woman, they themselves must be, they must have sexy muscles, they must have six packs, rocky arms, and stuff like that. It's very funny, but ladies also, most ladies, they get their own idea from Twitter, Facebook, and other social media platforms like that. They feel their man must be tall, dark, handsome, and for them to also get the perfect man, that perfect man, they must also be sexually appealing. They must be large breasted. They must have a flat tummy and stuff like that. But all these things are how do I put it? They are stupid notions, if I may say. They are unnecessary things that you need to look away. Now, from the viewpoint of a lady, as she grows up, she's looking for the perfect man, or an idea of a perfect man. With the idea of a perfect man, as she grows up, she sees that picture. She has this picture influenced by the social media and this Indian and Korean movies and stuff like that. She has this idea that this man must be this, must be that, and suddenly she meets a man who triggers a correspondence between her idea or a picture of a perfect man, and for some reason she thinks he is the one. Now, as time goes on, that idea of a perfect man, begins to distract her common sense from actually seeing the reality. And before you know it, instead of her to think of things like, what is this man like? What is he? Who is he? What are his characteristics? What does he possess? She continues to look for every means to make sure that the way the man behaves must correspond with her idea of the Mr. Right, the perfect man. And by this, she becomes enclosed into the cage of romance. And it is in this situation where you see people asking her, like, what does she see in this man? But what she continues to see is her idea, her imagination of the perfect man. She doesn't really understand that what she sees is not what is really there. And before you know it, as time goes on, she continues. She makes sure that that a perfect lady, that a perfect Mr. Right, nothing must diminish that idea of her. I don't think you are getting what I'm saying. She makes sure that nothing diminishes that imagination of a perfect man. That is why you see some ladies of today, they are very, very enclosed with a man, to the extent that they make sure that nothing disturbs what her notion is about the man. They make sure that they overlook every other thing that this man, or every other fault that this man might possess. They overlook everything, but they just see this thing. I love you. You are my love. You are my life. You are my this. You are my that. Fine. Don't get me wrong. Men do this too, but they look at their own from the physical aspect of the lady. They look at the lady as an object of pleasure. while the lady feels, oh, he wants me, he wants to be close to me, he wants me all to himself. But the man looks at the lady, the guy looks at the lady as an object of pleasure, he sees her as sexually appealing. Okay, to cut the long story short, now, for the lady who sees this perfect man and has been in a relationship with him, okay, they get married. Now, she begins to realize that, every day you wake up to see each other, constant exposure to this man begins to rust that cage of that cage of romance. It begins to rust it. It becomes like a dust. It begins to fade. It is that time she realizes that he snores, he has pimples, he farts like all other men. He has his faults and weaknesses, and before you know it, and this kind of thing, these things are the origin of many marital problems. When the basis of the relationship in the part of the man is sexual attraction and sexual pleasure, and while the basis of the marriage for the lady is romance, romantic expressions, romantic feelings, and all these things, romance and sex, you keep doing it every day. As you keep doing it, as you keep going on with it, it begins to fade. So before you go into any relationship or any marriage at all, you need to ask yourself, why am I going into this relationship? Why am I getting married? As a lady, if you want to select a man, an ideal man for you, you need to take note of some things. You need to ask yourself, is this man afraid of going into a relationship? The man must not be afraid to love. This might sound awkward, but you need to take note of some things. Many men out there today are afraid of commitments. So any man you want to go into a relationship with must be ready to love you, must be ready to be real and authentic, and must be ready to be committed to you. Secondly, you need to ask yourself. You need to take note. You need to take note of this point. This man, any man you want to, let me put it in this way: any man you want to go into a relationship with, secondly, must know how to forgive, ask for forgiveness, accept his faults, and also accept that he hurts you, and accept his mistakes. Any man you want to go into, the man your perfect man must learn how to ask for forgiveness. He must learn to be aware of the fact that he's wrong. He must learn to accept his mistakes and correct them with you. You people, forget it. Any relationship you go into, you will fight with each other over and over again. But you need to learn to forgive each other. Forgiveness must be one of the key attributes in your relationship. Thirdly, a man you must go into a relationship with must learn to control his passion. This might also sound weird too, but you see, there are some men out there that, permit me to use this word, they are like dogs. They get into any relationship with any lady at all they see. Or let me not even put it in a form of relationship. They get into anything, or they get into any sexual relationship with any lady at all. Is that the kind of man you want to go into a relationship with? Now, fourthly, the man must have goals. Your man, it does not necessarily have to be successful or something, but at least he must be working on a path of success. That is why you see many successful women, or many women with good jobs today, they are very, very picky. Why? Because they can't open their eyes and walk into a miserable life or poverty. So at least, even if your man is not rich, it does not necessarily have to be rich, but at least he must be on a good path. He must be working towards success. He must have his goals. He must have his visions. You must know all these things before you go into any form of relationship with him. Now, as a lady or as a man, you need to take note of some things in a lady. Firstly, this lady must also learn to forgive. She must also learn to accept that she's wrong. She must also learn to ask for forgiveness. Does she have these qualities? Most ladies of today, they don't accept mistakes. They feel they should be worshipped like a god. They feel they should be treated, or they should be worshipped like a goddess. And it's really spoiling things for we guys. And most of these ladies are always faking their characters. And at the end of the day, when we get married to them is when we now notice that, man, this is not what I actually paid for as a bride price. So any lady you want to go into a relationship with must know how to ask for forgiveness, must accept that she's wrong, and she must know how to forgive. Secondly, a lady must learn to follow a man. As a lady, you must know that you are the vice president. The man is the president. Your responsibility is to give him counsels and advice, and the man has the responsibility to carefully look at the advices and counsel and make the wise decision. One person must take a decision every time you disagree. So she must learn to follow you. She must be a follower. You need to understand that. So all